彼女も彼女バルスター No way scores with Saki Saki 好きですよで渚 confesses no way to say no バカ decision dates both at once 彼女も彼女も rolls out the front Saki soon fire 渚 kawaii heart read the streamer queen sticking in the dark out in chaos max jealousy on blast best wife awards who's the one standing last Hell Cachorro versus girlfriend girlfriend 像か友情 one guy pulling madness descend Why do all the girls like this guy? One for showdown here the otaku ring Cachorro versus girlfriend girlfriend Dropping confessions on this Watsuki thing Daijobu subscribe for the madness
Welcome back. Sorry it's been a while. I dropped the ball. I took a break. I'm sorry. These, as I said, we're struggling. These are a lot of work to put out. They're not really taking off. I mean, I'm getting like 40-something views on the first part of this series. I do want to wrap up this show, so we're going to do part 2 of Girlfriend. I might need to. I need to adjust how I probably do this for other shows I'm planning on covering because I've got a few more we're going to talk about. I've tried recording this a couple times. Each time's like an hour and a half long, so I gotta. So trying again. We're gonna try to shorten it. I think I'm gonna cover the manga as well, the ending of the show. So we might do that in a separate video just so I can keep this one shorter as well. I would try. Since I haven't really figured out how I want to do these now, I'm going to try to do this one the same way I've been doing the other ones, which is probably not. It's not working because I'm just recapping the show. But I at least want to finish this show like this. So we got to cover the manga because they never got a season 3. The show got canceled. I guess technically I can say canceled. Pretty much the manga ended. The season 2 didn't do as popular because it got beat by Rent a Girlfriend. And usually a lot of these shows, once the manga's ended, there's no more need for the anime because there's no more push for sales. And unless the anime is super hot, it doesn't usually continue, which one of the shows I'm about to cover is in that same boat. So we don't know if we're going to get season 3 or not. But we're going to try to get through this a lot faster. So I might do so we're going to speed run this in a way a little bit. So obviously Girlfriend's a show about a guy with 2 girlfriends. He's a lot of comedy hijinks is going on. He's trying to prove that he can be the best boyfriend for both of them. And he has to win both of them over. One gets kind of on board. His original girlfriend is struggling to accept it to the degree. The other girl is pretty much knowing that, hey, this is the only way I'm going to get to be with you, so I'm cool. A third girl gets introduced in the meeting. She gets rejected from being in the group, so she comes into the plan of that she wants to steal him for herself. And then if you watch the intro to the video, the show, you would always know that they've already hinted that there's also a 4th girl. You've only seen her partially in the first season until she takes a big role at the end of the last story arc, and she has a major role in season 2. And I personally, because she became I really came to like her character. She moved me. Season 2 moved me. I'll admit it. A lot of people didn't like the show to begin with because of its crazy themes of polygamy. But a lot of people thought season 2 wasn't as good. I love season 2. Season 2 had the story arc that made me cry. I'll admit it. I'm old. I'm a softie. Single lonely guy that cries to rom-com animes. Attractive qualities, I know. But let's pick up where we left. So it starts with Shino trying to figure out trying to make sense of the situation and she wants to break them up to help her friend Saki so that she can move on. So the first story arc is about them calling Shino over because they need her help. Minase is in danger of failing, which will make her go to summer school, which will slowly screw up the summer. So they need Shino to use her fast intelligence to help her pass the test. She's hesitant, of course, because she's against it. But she ends up, Nayu sweet talks her into doing it. But she says, "You owe me a favor." She helps her study. She passes. Obviously, she's seen as number one, and the other everybody passes. Her ultimatum is she wants to move in. Her goal is to move in and break them up. Malachi finds this out, overhears this. Says, "Wait, she gets to move in? Let me move in. I'll live in the yard. I'll be the guard dog." And they still reject her. And she accuses Nayu of having feelings for Shino, which at first when she says that, Shino gets, "Huh? Happy?" He goes, "No, it's to prove, just to get her to win, Saki Saki. That's not what it's about." And she gets instantly dejected. Meanwhile, Malachi tries to block them from all getting in the house. This is so we can introduce Malachi's sister into the show, because we have a flashback of where she drugs Nayu and kidnaps him from school, take him to her house to meet her baby sister, and use her baby sister's cuteness to try and win him over. It's like, "See, don't you want to be with me? You have a baby sister. You're with me." He falls for the sister a little bit, but then he goes, "No, I can't. No." Because why would you want to be with a guy who just wants to be with you for your sister and his little sister? Because that's weird. Because nothing else is weird in the show. So she kind of realizes that she did that wrong, but she realizes though that she still kind of there was a small something she won from that, and she's not giving up. This was so her sister, so that was introduced. Her sister comes and takes her away, and everybody falls in love with her sister, who's also a streamer. So Shino moves in, and we get the backstory. First, she tells the story to everybody about meeting Saki Saki. She comes into school. Saki Saki's instantly attracted to her because Saki Saki likes another girl that's flat-chested like her. And Shino kind of rejects her friendship at first and says, "Hey, I'm the smartest kid in the school. I'm the top athlete. It's like, we're different worlds. We don't mix." Saki Saki doesn't give up. She comes in. She bought her 2 video game like 2 Switch-like things, so she could give one to Shino so she could play games with her. She like, "Dude, that's totally frugal of your money, but I'm not gonna let it go to waste. Come on, let's play." So she wears Shino down and to get Shino her friend. Then Shino goes in her room and she reveals the rest of the story, how she met Nayu. So after becoming Saki Saki's friend, all of a sudden this boy starts showing up and professing how much that he loves her over and over again while getting rejected over and over again. And she came to admire his persistence and was wowed by him, same way Minase kind of was, and agreed and says, "Hey, no, let me help you." He's like, "You're doing this wrong." They agreed to help him go shopping for Saki's birthday. So she points out like the top that she thinks he should buy her. So she gets her to try it on for him so he can see what it looks like on a person. Saki shows up, so he hides it. She pulls him in the dressing room. He's freaking out, so she ends up letting him come in the dressing room to hide with her. He sees her in her tights and with her underwear underneath, because it's Shino, because this is always going to be happening in Shino. But while there, they have this big heart-to-heart talk, and he's talking to her and she starts developing feelings. She starts having feelings for him. And after helping her out, to thank her for helping out, he buys her the bow that we always see in her hair. So that was a gift from Nayu. So she's super touched, even more so. But she knows this is dangerous ground. So she says, "Hey, don't, we got to keep this a secret. Don't talk to me in school. We don't want people thinking you have a thing for me." She causes them to freak out for a minute, and she goes, "I'm just joking," and secretly smiles. So her goal was like, "Hey, okay, I got to keep away from you because I'm starting to like you." She comes out of her room. He's sleeping on the couch, and supposedly everyone else is gone. She starts giving in to her temptations. She goes, "I could kiss him right now. No one would know. Someone knows." Saki catches him. She plays it off with a excuse about plucking nose hairs. Saki's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, so she falls for it. Sheena relieved, goes and takes a bath, and like kicks her, is like beating herself up internally because she's like, how could I have done something so stupid? When she's leaving the bath, Nayu walks in and catches her naked. A little freak out hijinks occurs, and she ends up on top of him naked. Saki catches him, and she's freaking out. She jumps off him to run away, and he gets a full glimpse of all her lady parts. Again, Saki at this point is like, you're just a closet clumsy perv. So Sheena's not having a good first day. So the ends up with the night being is they prepared this big giant meal to welcome her to their home. And she's like, why are you doing this? I'm here to break you guys up. Why are you trying to be no nice? He's like, look, we're trying to show you. He's like, we're not going to be mean to you just because that's your goal. We are going to be nice to you. You're her friend, and we're going to be nice. Minase prepared the food, and she tries the food. And she's like, oh my god, once again, she also gets won over by Minase's cooking. But she points out like, you need more vegetables and stuff like that. You're just making. You need to balance your diets. So she helps her by making some vegetable stuff. But then she confronts Minase about being the little homewrecker and about, did you know that she had a boyfriend, that he had a girlfriend? To which she said, yes, I did. So she guy's going off on her. So she starts going off on Minase, and Minase actually stands up for herself. She holds her ground, which is good for her. She doesn't. So we get to the next episode where we're getting the fireworks festival, because every anime has to have a fireworks festival. It's in the DNA. So she's saying, hey, you and Nayu have to do something. And she finds out, this is where we find out that Nayu and Saki have never kissed, not even on the cheek. So she tries to push the kiss, and Nayu even says, yeah, you're right, we gotta get over this. Let's do it. Saki bails. Night of the fireworks, all the girls in their Yamatas. Nayu comments on how cute his two girlfriends are. He even comments Shinu looks great in hers. You look fine to Malachi. So we have some hijinks at the festival, some games, food. And while Shinu is trying to talk sense into Nayu, they get separated from the two girlfriends. So they can decide they have to go find them because the fire's about to start. Nayu, the nice guy he helps out a poor girl in need with a broken shoe, which also Shinu then breaks her shoe, so he's helping carrying them both. And it ends up being that, which leads once again to another heart-to-heart with them too, where she's wanting to help Saki, but also can't help that the feelings for her she's starting to have. So when she finally tells him to go off and find Saki, he gets interrupted by Malachi, who tries to seduce him herself and get more attention for herself, and starts questioning about all her video. He doesn't have anything to do with her. She said, well, have you watched all the new videos? He admits he unfollowed her, which breaks her heart. And then he says, I don't want to, I had to because I wouldn't fall in love with you. And leaves. Well, heartbroken to her, that also gives her an opening. Because he said he did it to stop from falling in love with her, which means he was starting to. So the girls that separated look for him as well with their own plan. So first he finds Minase. So they go to the park to have their moment. So they get whoever finds him first gets to spend time with him first. So Minase's thing is she just wants girlfriend stuff. She wants to hold his hand. She wants to put her head in his lap. He wants to hold her. She's a cuddler. She likes to be cuddled. We'll see that also pop up later in the seasons and further things too. She also asked Nayu to keep whatever happens between them secret because she's embarrassed. Saki shows up, so the girls switch out, and Saki's whole thing is she is being combative. Instead of wanting to take advantage of her time with him, she's pressing him about what happened with Minase, which she's like, I promise I wouldn't tell her out. That was a moment between me and her. So that upsets her. Then she smells several other girls on him because she's got a super nose. He finally calms her down, and they start to watch the fireworks, and they start to have a moment, and they get ready to kiss. And she smells the girls on her again and freaks out again. And by the time he calms her down again, the fireworks are over. She missed the fireworks. So she's starting to freak out. So he runs to a store, buys some quick fireworks, and brings them back out. And he gets her to calm down and relax, and gets her to open up, asks her to open up about her feelings, how she feels about everything. And she don't know. She doesn't like the idea of being in this weird relationship, but she also enjoys she's having fun with everybody. So she's trying to just take it day by day to see how things go. So she's still not on board fully. But she's like, hey, we should have everyone here so we can all enjoy these fireworks you bought so they don't go to waste. So everybody shows up. It also gets revealed that she bailed on her. She forgot to do her kiss. Meanwhile, Malachi is planning something. She admits that she's got plans for the July 31st. So there we go. And Shino's still questioning and trying to figure things out. She's starting to feel like maybe that Saki doesn't really care for Nayu that much. And she's like staring at Nayu's picture, and she's trying to question, I don't know what to do. Nayu, the king of sneaking up on people, says, hey, what you don't know, you always know what to do. What don't you know what to do about? She's causing her to freak out that he saw the picture, that she was staring at his picture, that she did not. So she turns it into what happened between him and Minase. So him and Minase have to show him everything that they did together. To which she goes, well, that's all you did? That's nothing. Then they get a big shipment from Amazon of camping supplies and a free camping certificate. All as a prize that Saki won from a contest she never remembered entering. Lo and behold, this was Malachi's plan. She bought all this stuff and faked it to get him to lure them out to the campsite. So while everyone's trying to set up things, Shinu's trying to say, you need to be here and keep your boyfriend away from the other girl. So Saki follows her because Saki has a feeling that Shino has a crush on her. So she tries to confront Shino about it, and Shino doesn't go along with it. Then they get the call that there's an emergency. They're struggling with setting up the tent and getting the fire going, and they're struggling. The camp is going as a disaster. In comes Milikai to the rescue. She helps them set up all their camping equipment. She shows them all the stuff that she could cook, and she's already a master campsman. And she offers them food. At first, they don't want to take it because, hey, she's drugged me before. They finally break down because Minase does not know how to cook on an open fire. So they give in and try the food. She drugs them because that's what she is. She also drugs her own sister, who, by the way, finds out that the guy that her sister is after has 2 girlfriends. And she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're supposed to be my role model. What the hell's wrong with you? You're chasing a guy with 2 girlfriends. And Saki, who's become a big fan of her because she's also a MeTuber, says it gets on her, and she goes, what you're doing's not right either. But this is all so she could get Nayu to herself. So she wants to spend time. She wants to share food that she made with him. She wants to talk to him and she's just trying to, get him to, give her some attention. So he rejects it. He breaks the branch that he's handcuffed to. And as he's trying to leave, she then grabs the handcuff and handcuffs him to her. And once again, she pushes like, why weren't you be nice to me? You were nice to me at the hot springs. I just want you to show me attention and notice I exist. And this is where we're finding out that Malachi is just a sweet girl that she just puts up a show, and she uses her body, obviously her sexual body, or no, that's not the right way of saying that. Her voluptuous body to attract as a weapon. She really just a girl who wants attention. She just wants the guy she likes to talk to her and be nice to her and notice she's there and be her friend in a way. So while they're fighting, he gets the key from her to unlock the handcuffs, and they're fighting free. Her alarm goes off that it's midnight, and she reveals that it's her birthday. And she goes, look, this is the best spot to see the stars. her whole plan was to get him out here so she could spend time with him on her birthday and look at the stars. Kind of a sweet moment, to be fair. That's sweet. That's sweet. You know, it's Archisandra's showing her sweet side. And him realizing this is where he finally decides he's approaching this wrong with her. So the plan is Milikai gets to move in. And she gets to move in. She gets to openly go after him. She has a 5-month time frame to the end of the year. If she does not win him over by the end of the year, she must give up and move on. Is the deal. So he sells it to the girls like, hey, look, we can let her keep doing the stuff she's doing, or we can just put out on the top. She's not going to. It's like, I promise you, she will not win me over. I love you, and I love Minase. This gives her, she's putting up this play where we see up, she just gets to be up front. We get to see her up front, no more sneakiness. So the girls decide to get on board with it. Except she knows, so like, what the hell? So on the train ride home, everybody's falling asleep, except for her. And she's questioning. Because how could Saki allow this? Maybe she doesn't love Nayu that much after all. And she says, maybe I should ask for my 5-month attempt as well. Before she leans her head up against Nayu. So we get the Milikai move-ins in, and first she starts joking about that she's going to share a room with Nayu, which is get them all started that each of them should be allowed to spend the night with him. He gets on board with this. So this turns out, so he says no funny business will occur, that he's already made that promise, that's the rules, and that the ultimate test would be to spend the night with the girls, to show that he is trustworthy, that he will not do anything with her. And even wants Shinu to spend the night with him, because the proof to her that he will not make moves on her, so that she can trust him with her friend Saki. Saki is also on board with this, because that means if Shinu gets a night, that's one less night that Milikai can get. So Shinu gets thrown into the mix against her will. And they do paper, rock, scissors, and Shinu goes first. So he'll be preparing to sleep on the floor and let her have the bed, because he doesn't expect much out of her, because, like that. She comes out wearing a super sexy nightgown. Freaking him out. And she says, hey, my job is to test you and tease, so I can't test you. I'm going to test you, then I'm going to do it right. To which he's like, you're right. That's right. You're correct. That's what you should do. So while he's kind of well by a nightgown, he's like, yeah, nope, it's not doing anything for me. And she goes to sleep in the bed. He lays on the floor. So she's kind of conflicted. While she wants to prove that he wants him to prove that he won't do anything to hurt Sakizaki, but she also secretly wants him to do something with her. So she's got mixed emotions. Well, so she brings up the courage. She goes, lays on the floor next to him. He goes, what are you doing? Because I have to be within arm's reach of you if I'm supposed to be doing this right. It's like, if I got to tease you, then I'm going to tease you. If I'm going to test you, I got to test you. So he's like, you're right. You have to test me. So he starts asking her, like, show him, do some sexy poses and stuff like that. And she's not getting any kind of reaction out of him. And she realizes, well, he's seen me naked, so why would this work? So she comes up with one last effort. She drops her nightgown down and puts her hands over her boobs to show her as much skin as possible. And that's where he realizes, that's where he grabs her thing and he covers her back up and goes, I pushed you too hard. That's on me. I'm sorry. Because you're going, I'm making you feel like you have to go too far. Because I thank you. I was like, I was wrong of me to do. So she's feeling dejected, but then he adds on the fact that how hot he found her. he is, so he does mentions like, it's like, oh, you're such a good friend, and like, I can't believe that I'm having this problem, this much hard time holding myself back from how hot you are as her best friend. So she kind of gets, here's what she needs to hear, that he does find her attractive. They tell the whole group the next day. They're kind of a little shocked that Shino did all that, but understands that, hey, I had to test it. So, hearing that him say that he found her hard to resist, gets Milikai, who gets to go second, freaked out. Because she doesn't think Shino, she doesn't look at Shino as being attractive, and she didn't think Shino was going to do anything, but that she hears that he had a hard time holding himself back from her. It's like, she's afraid he's going to give in and pounce on her. And she secretly doesn't actually want that. As we've seen it, she can be the sweet, innocent. She's actually the sweet, nice girl who just tries to tease and tempt people to get her way. It's not what she actually wants. So she wears this big old onesie, and she has her camera to protect. She's going to protect herself. Once again, he makes no effort to give her any attention. So it ends up being she pulls it, unzips it so she can pull out the G cups to try and get some more temptation out of him, because she realizes that that's what always her go-to is to try and lead to that. And yeah, he still doesn't bite. But she's happy she gets to sleep in his bed and smell him. So she sleeps in his bed while he sleeps on the floor. So test 2 is passed. The third night takes what I found was an interesting twist. Minase starts putting it together that Nayu is wearing himself thin. He's getting up, he's working his morning shift, he's helping Milikai with the videos, he's playing games with Saki, he's studying with Shino. She's like, hey, are you sleeping? She goes, oh yeah, I get 4 hours of sleep. She goes, that's not enough. It's like, no. So she starts worrying about his health. So she goes to Saki to see who gets to sleep with him next, and she tells Saki, pick scissors. And Saki's like, oh, you're going to let me win. Wow, you're so sweet. And she did it so she could beat her. She tricked her. Which that one doesn't really go far about her tricking her like that. So when they have their night, though, she shows up in her cute nurse's outfit, but she's not trying to be cute. She's doing it because she wants to actually be a nurse. He's heavily turned on by her cosplay, because we've seen this in the first season where he got turned on by her maid outfit. But she's wanting him to take her seriously, and she's getting upset that he won't take her seriously. That she's wanting to take care of him. To the point where she's promised, like, hey, let me just do what I need to do, and I promise you, I'll wear this outfit for you again. So he gets in the cave in, he takes medicine, rest, she calls in sick for him for the next day. So the next day means it's Saki's turn. So she's planning that she's about to do all this sexy stuff because she knows that all the other girls didn't get anywhere. And then she finds out that he didn't go to work. And then he says, yeah, Minase made me stay home because I wasn't feeling well and she wanted to take care of me. So she finds out that Minase looked after him all night. She used her night to look after him, to take care of his needs. And that's where she starts realizing that she's approaching it wrong. She goes, I'm not some kind of girlfriend, am I? I'm not paying attention to what he needs. So her answer to that, when she gets back from that night, is she scoured, since she can't buy them, or she couldn't go to the store and buy them, she searched the park for discarded nudie magazines. I guess I don't even want to know. So she found him a couple of nudie magazines to help him relieve his tensions. Of course, they're all flat-chested nudie magazines because she obviously doesn't want. She obviously made sure she found the right type that she would approve of. So at first he's super happy. He was like, wow, this is really cool. Wow, nice of you. And then he's like, wait a minute, do you really want me to do that to other women? Which causes her to freak out. And then he comes with a plan of him taking pictures of her. So she shows a little cleavage and he takes some pictures of her. And she's like, well, I guess it's okay if he's going to do that to me. But it's so he could cut her head off and put her on the pictures of the girls in the magazines. Because that's how their night ends. So then we get a story arc on whose bra excites him the most, because Milikai hangs up a bra, her big giant bra outside, and he finds it attractive. So all the girls like start get so the girlfriends get upset about that. So he takes a smartwatch that will measure his heart rate, and he looks at Milikai's bra, and his heart races, and the girls get upset, and he goes, "Well, but I'm going to beat yours." So Minase runs, and because she's excited about this to prove it, she finds what she considers her sexiest bra, and his heart races even higher to 220. And his theory is like, "I'll prove I love you both, but it should be the same for both of you." Then Sakizaki has to freak out because her best bra's in the laundry, so she doesn't have one. So she takes off her plain white bra she's wearing and holds that up. And because of the fact that she was currently wearing it and he's seeing it just right off of her body, that causes him to get super excited and goes up to 220 again. So Milikai tries to go secondly by taking off her bra, but Shino's trying to stop it, which causes Shino to stumble. Because it's Shino, we know what's going to happen here. She falls on Nayu. Her shirt gets pulled up, and his face is up against her bra. And his heart starts racing. And it's climbing higher and higher. It's getting close to the girlfriends. He punches himself in the gut, and it stops at 219. She goes, "Wow, I was almost as high as his girlfriends." So we're seeing it. There is some Shino stuff there. So then begins the prelude to our final arc of the season. The girls start talking about their wanting to take a vacation. They decide on Okinawa. It starts, they're completing on how long can they stay there. Shino kind of pulls a string and gets them a vacation rental that her father owns because she's apparently rich, that they can stay at for 2 nights. So all the girls are excited about that. And it's swimsuit shopping time. So they all take Nayu and he said, "You get to pick our swimsuits." So he picks out 2 sexy swimsuits for the 2 girlfriends that he thinks will look that would be perfect for both of them and show them off. Then Milikai asks what he picks out for her. He gives her this schoolgirl one piece. And he says, "Hey, sometimes less is more, you know." Then she was like holding up one she found. Like, "Hey, I think I like this one." He goes, "But wait, I picked one out for you too." And he gives her one. And she's like, "Wait, you kept me one." Saki gives her one too that's like very skimpy that gets rejected immediately. But so now she's conflicted because she is the one she found, but then Nayu found one. And she's like, "Well, he found this in me. He means he wants to see me in it." So she's coming up with an excuse on what for buying the one that he bought. She goes, "I could always just say I like, I end up liking the fabric more and then thought it was a better looking one." So while she's coming up with her excuse to buy it, she gets confronted by Milikai, who's starting to put something together. So she starts interrogating her, and she kind of tricks her into admitting that she has feelings for Nayu as well. And she threatens to rat her out to Saki unless she agree to help. She agrees to help her get personal time with Nayu. And she goes, "Hey, look, I even help you out. If you help me get personal time, then I will also I'll help you get personal time." So Shino, afraid of being revealed to Saki, agrees to join her because wait a minute, why would you help me get personal time? And Milkai's like, "Look, I'm hot, I'm sexy, and I'm throwing myself at him, and it's not working because you aren't any of those, and you're introverted, and you're too scared to tell him how you feel, and you just want him to notice you. Yeah, you have no chance in hell." But Shino reluctantly agrees to be her alliance. So they finally travel to the beach, and the girls got all their suits on. He finds his 2 girlfriends super hot. He's super touched that Shino got the one that he picked out for her. And he says, "Oh wow, okay, you're kind of covering up a lot, aren't you?" He tricked her into buying the wrong one. So it's portrayed that he tricked her. He never technically officially said that. So all the girls she goes in the change to another bathing suit she brought, and all the other girls kind of go do some stuff. Him and Nayu and Saki left on the beach. They have a little heartful moment. Saki says, "Hey, I really want to kiss you on this trip." And they start to get ready to kiss, but then Saki bails again and goes out runs out there. Minase sees all this and pulls Nayu to a side, to a secret spot, to where she's, "Hey, I need something from you. I need a big favor. I need you to." I was like, "I'll handle all this." She got the book shares. She's like, "I'll handle all this stuff." First off, he like grabs her and holds her, and like they're in their bathing suits and stuff like that, and she's kind of freaking out. It's like we have so much skin touching, and I like it. And so, like I said, she's a color, so he's cuddling, she's grabbing her, holding her tight, and hugging her, and like she's trying to like, "I gotta get a point out, but you're making, I'm liking this too much. So stop it." He wants her. She's pushing him that you need to make the move with Saki. You need to kiss her. I'll handle everything else, the food and the rest shopping and all that stuff. It's like, you just need to set the moment and kiss her, because that's her goal. Is like, she gets her first kiss. She gets the kiss first. So he gets on board. So he goes back to the group, and they're planning this little. He's trying to get Saki to come with him over to this romantic, secluded spot. The other two girls who overheard the conversation with Minase, so Milakai's like, "Hey, you gotta do something. You gotta break this up." So Shinu goes out in the water, takes off her top, and throws it away from her and says, "Oh no, I lost my top. I'm scared. All these guys are going to take advantage of me." Nayu, the good guy goes out to help her. He gets her top for her, and then she's like trying to delay him from getting back to the shore. She pull off she grabs his trunks and pulls him down. It's like, "Oh, I got a cramp. I'm sorry. I just need something to hold on to." And while he's trying to grab her and hold on to her because he got a cramp, she actually does develop a cramp, and she also freaks out because of how close they are, and she punches him and knocks him out. Physical violence is something these girls do. So him and Milikai saying, "Oh, we got to take him back to the room and rest. He passed out." And it's Milikai pretty much ties him down to the bed. And Shino's like having issues with what's going on here. That she's kind of being forced to go along with it. But she leaves the room, and Milikai locks everybody out. And she starts trying to seduce him by kissing on his neck and stuff like that. Well, he's not wanting to try. He's trying his hardest to resist her. And the other girls, so Shinu tells the other girls that Milkai's locked in the room with him, locked herself in the room with him, and so they're all trying to find the key to get in. And by the time they get in, Milikai escapes through the window, and so we cut to them all like preparing, hanging out. Shino and Milikai are trying to, figure out we gotta stop them. They're gonna kiss, and Shino's like, kind of like really just done with it. Which is, you know what, fine, just make him something with a bunch of garlic so his breath tastes. His breath would be bad, and they won't want to kiss. So she goes through that plan, and the other girls are like, "Hey, there's garlic in that. Your breath, don't do that. Your breath's gonna be bad." Meanwhile, the Shino uses as an excuse to slip away. She goes to this cliff area where she starts saying, I can't do this anymore. I just have to give it up. I have to give up on him." So she takes her bow, and she's wanting to throw it away to get rid of it, but she can't do it. In comes the ninja Nayu, sneaking up behind her. What is it you can't do? He's like, "What are you talking about? What's going on with you?" And she freaks out and tries to pass it off as nothing. A big gust of wind comes and blows the bow out of her hand into the ocean. And she freaks out. She dives in after it during, I'm assuming it was like high tide, and the waves, big dangerous waves are hitting. But she's like, "I can't lose it. I can't lose it." And he knows it's like, "Well, wait, that's the same bow." And that's where we finally realizes that's the same bow he bought her. Because you've had it all these years? Why have you held on to this bow? But she dives in after it to get it. She can't lose it. And then a wave hits her, and she gets sucked under. Nayu the good guy that he is, jumps in after her to save her. She grabs her and he swims to the shoreline just to find out it's the wrong shoreline. They're at an island that's like appears to be maybe a couple 100 feet off the coast from the mainland island. But it's night and they can't swim back because it would be too dangerous. So they have to spend the night there. And he's like, hey, let's make the most of it. We have fun. It's a desert island. We'll explore it. And I mean, she starts kind of fantasizing about being stuck on a deserted island with them and them having kids and everything like that. So she's like getting into the moment and they go looking for, so we got to find food and water. And we get a couple of hilarious hijinks. Usually, her finding herself in weird sexual positions, her falling off, trying to climb a tree to get a coconut and falling with her crotch on his face, her having a branch rip her top off because she knows a klutzy nudist. Then they get surprised by a snake and he grabs her by the hand and they take off running, and then she starts holding his hand back. So she's just excited to be holding his hand. And he realizes it and he's like, whoa. He's like, I'm sorry. And she goes, no, it's okay. You can do it. Then she sneezes. And he's like, you're catching a cold. Your bathing suit's still wet. It's like, you need to take it off so you're not in wet clothes, because apparently that's a massive problem. I don't really see how that would make any bigger difference. So she's naked, huddling behind a palm tree while he's starting to start a fire, and they're just talking. And meanwhile, her inner head is going nuts, but she needs to. This is her chance. She needs to do something. So she goes and leans up against him naked, back to back. When he freaks out about her doing that, she's like, I'm cold. Your body's warm. I need warmth. And she comments about how he's been working out. And while they're doing this, she also starts to confess to him about that there's a guy she has a crush on. And he's like, well, if you have a crush, you shouldn't be leaning against someone else naked. She goes, well, no, I can't. He doesn't know. And I can't tell him. I've had this crush for years. He doesn't feel about me the same way. And he has a girlfriend. And so he tries to say, well, you shouldn't let yourself be that. You should move on. You shouldn't go, suffer like that. So while she's trying to beat around the bush to him, he gets the fire started. He's excited. So knowing that he needs to get her warm, there's this instant kind of flip him around thing. So now she's next to the fire and he's got his back against hers away from the fire. And while she's talking, I guess, I'm assuming it's supposed to be blood. She notices like something on her shoulder. And she realizes that's where his hand was. So she turns around and grabs his hands and sees that his hands are calloused up from starting the fire. And he goes, I needed to start the fire for you. And she just becomes so overwhelmed with emotion, she pounces on top of him. Remember, she's naked. That's why I had to cut this at the neck, even though it doesn't really technically show anything. But she's tearing up. She's crying all over him. That he just keeps doing all this nice stuff for her, and she can't take it anymore. How nice he is to everything he's doing for her. And then she just leans down and kisses him, freaking him out. And then she realizes she's naked and she freaks out and goes hides behind the tree again. And knowing how things have always been with her, he plays this off as like, look, I get it. You slipped. You didn't mean to do that. You just slipped and fell on me. And he's trying to like come up with excuses for it. She's like, I'm going to get some firewood. And that's what she says. It wasn't an accident. Causing them to stop and freak out and be like, wait, what did you say? And before she can say anything else, she passes out sick. So apparently she has like maybe a heat stroke or fever from the wetness and the heat and everything. So the next morning comes and she's not doing very well, and he's not sure what to do. She's not in a condition to swim back to shore with herself. He's contemplating about the idea he'll swim to shore and send help for her, but he doesn't know if he should leave her by herself for that long. It might not, that something bad, it's not good for her. So he finally gets the thing up, and he's like, I'm going to carry you back to shore myself. I can't leave you here. So he throws her over his shoulder, and he starts hightailing it, swimming hundreds of feet to shore. To which she's like half out of it, and she's like, what are you doing? You can't do this. This is too much. No, don't. Until she ends up passing out. She wakes up on the shoreline with him there out of breath next to her. And once again, she's extremely moved by what he did. So she starts like reaching out for him. And then Saki comes, who's been looking for him all night, comes running up, tears in her eyes as she's happy she found him. She was so worried, and she just grabs him and kisses him with tears in her eyes. And Shino and shocked, and Shino's like, you do really love him. And everything. It's like, and I've been such a horrible friend. So Shino gets a realization that, yeah, she loves him. So they get back to the house. Shino's recovering in the bed. Everyone's just kind of joking about the incident, and they leave to where it's just Shino and Milikai, and Milikai kind of confronts about what happened. Because she's like, I can't believe you got on by yourself. And finally she is like, yeah, we held hands, we raced by a fire, and I kissed him. And Milikai's like, I can't believe you shocks her, like, wow, I can't believe you went all for it. And she goes, it doesn't matter. So then Saki kissed him, and so she's like, it doesn't matter. So everybody comes back, ends up going back in the room to check on Shino. And that's where Shino drops the bombshell that she's leaving. She's like, I already put in the paperwork. I'm changing schools. It's like, she plays it off as, you guys are holding me back. Your stupid's starting to wear off on me. And then the girl, like, I think our stupid is already wore on you. She goes, even more reason why I need to leave. They're confronting her about it. And it was like, wait, Saki's not buying it. She goes, wait, no, you're not telling me the truth. There's something else. Like, why? What is the deal? And she was like, I can't. I'm telling you, I can't tell you. So that ends up with them kind of tussling a little bit. And then Saki accuses her of not being a good friend. This causes Shino to break free and run out of the room crying, because technically the reason she's leaving is because she's being a good friend. She's doing what she thinks she has to do because she's in love with her friend's boyfriend. Nayu's, you can see he knows, he knows what it is. You can see him, his face, that he's thinking. He's like, yeah. He's put it together. So Shino's crying to herself. She gets confronted by Milikai, who's trying to be the hard edge, but trying to be a friend at the same time. She's like, fine, you're just throwing out one less competition for me. I can't believe you're just going to give up like this. And she goes, and she's to the point, it's like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. And she deletes the photo. And then she grabs the ribbon and she goes to throw it into the ocean to get rid of it, but she can't do it. She can't do it again. So she sits down and busts down crying again. And Milikai tries, just kind of console her a little bit in her own way. Then he starts walking off and showing, hey, oh, by the way, I told him where you're at. So the rest of the group shows up, and Shino's unable to confront them, tries to run away again, and Nayu stops her. It's like, no. It's like, you need to tell. It's like, I'm not as stupid as you think it is. I know what it is. You need to tell Saki what's going on. You need to tell her why you've held that ribbon all these years. You need pretty much saying you need to tell her the truth. And this is like super movie. Sorry, this is the scene that really got me, teared me up. It's still tearing me up a little to think about it. Because it was such a moving part. Because then she's in tears and she builds up the courage and she's you can like visually you can see her building up. They have it where she's building up, trying to bring herself to say it, and she finally confesses that she has feelings for Nayu and that she loves Nayu. And Saki is shocked, and at the same time, Nayu instantly rejects her. And you get the double whammy from Saki. Like she's shocked that she just found out her best friend is in love with her boyfriend. But then she gets also furious at her boyfriend for his instant rejection of her. It's like, how could you do that to her right now? How could you just do that? So she's mad at him. She punches him. She punches him or threatens to punch him for just being so cold-hearted to her, which was pretty cold-hearted. But she goes, I always thought, but then that's where she says, I thought you had feelings for me. It's like, yeah, no. I've always loved Nayu for years. And then Saki confronts her friend and feels bad that her friend never told her the truth. He's like, you've been holding this in this whole time. You should have just told me. So they have their heart to heart. Like, it's a touching moment. So they console with each other and they come to grips with each other on it. Then we cut to the next day. Shino comes down the stairs to which Milikai makes fun of her for how bad and how fast she got rejected. To which she's like, yeah, okay, I know, I was there. I'm leaving. And she was like, fine, I get it. I'm leaving. She walks out, and the other three are distraught, and Saki's like, it can't end like this. Like, now you have to go talk to her. Just make it, do something, make it right. So Nayu follows after, and they confront each other on the beach, and she's happy that he came to talk to her. And she wants to know his reason. Can you tell me why? To which he did apologize for how he treated. He apologized to it for it, and he says his only goal is to make the other two happy because I can't do anything else. My whole thing is there. I have to make them fully happy. And he does the whole bow and apologizing to her thing. To which she bends down, pulls up his head, and she tells him all the things that she loves about him. And then she asks the big question. Because if you do succeed and you make them fully happy, is there any chance you still have happiness left over that you could give me? Nayu, the guy, Nayu's the guy that he doesn't bite around the corner too much. And he's like, I mean, theoretically, yeah, sure. And everybody else is, by the way, is eavesdropping on this conversation because they all like to eavesdrop, and they're all like in shock, like, wait, what? What just happened now? So he's like, well, I mean, I guess if they're fully happy, I'm sure then, yeah, I could probably have something left over to share with you. To which she's like, good, because I'm not giving up. And she stands up and screams out the ocean that she wants to be his girlfriend too. That she won't give up, and that if she'll wait, she'll stand by the sidelines, and she'll wait, let them be. And her goal is she wants them to be happy first too, and then she'll take whatever's left. And she walks off, and leaves everybody completely shocked. So the rest of the trip shows them on their way home. Milikai's trying to trying to get attention from everybody, but while the other three are just got looks of complete shock on their face. They don't know what to do. So right home, they start trying to discuss it before they go inside. What are they going to do? And then Shino pops open and says, hey, stop yelling. Here, I made you all desserts. And she does her big, apology speeches to everybody, and she's and that and she especially apologizes to Minase because she's like, I've treated you the harshest. It's because I was jealous of you. I wanted to be you. And she begs them all for forgiveness and to accept her, and that she will be happy to stand on the sideline and make them and that she will see to their happiness, and she will do whatever it takes to help make them happy. And the girls come to accept her. They feel for her, and they accept her in. And then comes up to, hey, what happened on the island? As our closing act. To which she wasn't going to say anything. And the milk was like, I can tell you what happened. And she's like, nope, I'll do it. And she admits that she kissed Nayu. And Saki's about to get upset, but she goes, if I didn't kiss him too, I'd be a lot madder. But she goes, it's like, since she got her kiss, she goes, I will forgive you. But says she's going to have to threaten her with a punishment of wearing a skimpy maid's uniform. Meanwhile, Minase is solemnly quiet. And Minase is now realizing that all the other 3 girls have kissed Nayu except for her. And she was the one trying to play it cool. She was trying to let everybody else, Saki go first. And now she's lost to everybody. Which causes these 2 to freak out because they want to make it up to her, and they're trying to kiss up, and Shino's apologizing for being a horrible person. And they're even also when she found out that she kissed Shino, she knocked him out. But so it ends with them trying to tell Minase she will get her perfect kiss. And they try and tell her, well, kiss him now. And he wakes up and he sees her pouty face and finds her adorable, and he wants to kiss her. He goes, no, I will wait till my kiss is special. And that is how season 2 ends. And where we at? Ooh, under an hour. So I cannot get to this fast enough. Ha! Like I said, that whole last arc of that season I thought it was a really good drama. I won't lie. Found it very, like I said, the Shino stuff got super hardcore, and maybe I'm just old. But the only thing I will say is, if you're watching the English dub, the first 2 parts of that leading up to so the whole parts where they're stuck on the desert island up to the 2 episodes when they're, where did it start at? Just remember how many episodes this was. I think it's the whole first half of them on the island, maybe the part with the swimsuit as well. There was a substitute voice actor for Shino, so the voice was radically different. Up to I think that one episode ended with the kiss. So the first half of the arc has a different voice actress for her from the rest of the show, and it stuck out. You definitely felt like you noticed you were hearing a different voice before it flipped back to the original voice actress. So I don't know why she missed 2 episodes, but those are the worst 2. That's a really bad timing for those 2 episodes. So that the subtitle version might actually be better. Just because it kind of throws it off a little bit, knowing that there's a different voice actress. But Shino's arc is good. I mean, kind of weird the part that she shot her shot, she got rejected, and then she's like, all right, well, I'll be the side girl until you feel like you can move me in. It works in a way, because technically her whole arc of her being against the polygamy was a cover. So it wasn't that it was 100% her actual. I mean, she probably was really against it, but it was all a cover to cover up the fact that she didn't want to have anything that gives her. She didn't want to feel like she had a chance at anything. If you get multiple girlfriends, that means I have a chance. So compared to what's going to happen in the manga, which I guess we'll do that in a separate episode, Uh, this one doesn't bother me as much as something that happens at the end of the manga that it kind of felt a little about. Remember, I did really. Like I said, this is a show I started watching because it's expected to be slappy comedy, stupidity, really ridiculous, over the top stupidity stuff, and we got most a lot of that in the first season with a few moments of drama. This one we started off with mostly comedy. We got a little heart moments here and there at the firework, a little heart moment at the camp thing with Milikai. But then this was like this arc right here from the desert island part. Like so, yeah, pretty much right here on. This was massive drama. Drama was like not a lot. I mean, a little itsy bits of comedy maybe on the desert island, but this was for the most part just straight up heavy drama, and it was like wow, really good. So I totally don't get why people hate on the season two too much on this, because I actually really enjoyed season two of this. So it was very, as I said, this was one of the first animes I watched after I watched Quintessential Quintuplets, which is also one that really touched me a lot. And obviously, I got 5 episodes on that one, talking and breaking that down. So so this is probably one of my. I mean, since I started this little anime kick, like my 5th or 6th thing I watched altogether was like, because I watched a couple. There was 2 things I watched before Quintessential Quintuplets, and then I may see something in before that. I don't before this. I don't remember. But I watched this straight off the bat because I was going to watch another, like, silly concept, kind of like quintuplets, and this one sounded kind of silly and goofy too, and ended up being really good to me. I really enjoyed this. So far as ever from, I mean, I haven't watched a ton of stuff, so I don't even. I'd say I've watched more than 10 things so far, so I'd easily say this is probably in my top 10. Maybe it could be in my top 5 currently, or just barely outside of it. Then quintuplets, soul leveling. So it's pushing a top 5 spot currently. It might drop as I watch more stuff, but I really enjoyed it. I liked a lot of the show. I liked a lot of the actors, the voice actors, especially I liked a lot of the English dub actors. It's been a while since I watched the subtitle. I watched the subtitle version. I liked a lot. I thought, and that was enjoyable as well. I mean, for the most part, it's like I did like the character dynamic of these two, and once she got kind of moving in season 2, I did end up really liking Shinu. Now he's kind of the weird, quirky guy. It's just hard. He's just ridiculously over the top with everything he does. That's who he's supposed to be. The MCs are always kind of weird characters, and we'll get that in more shows as well. But I totally enjoyed season 2. Unfortunately, no season 3 came because, like I mentioned before, the manga ended and the season 2 did not do as well because it got overshadowed by another show. We'll talk about the manga, and I'll do a separate episode about the manga, because if I did that manga now, it would go on for like another 30, 40 minutes. So I've already got it. We're already over an hour. Yeah. So we will bring that in later. I'll do that. I follow up on that. Telling you how the show ended, since we didn't get to see it. Maybe there may have been enough to possibly squeeze out a short season. Possibly, definitely maybe you could have done a movie, but the show wasn't popular enough to get there, unfortunately. It's too bad. It was a really interesting show, and we've seen weirder, quirkier shows, get more life. But there it is. Finally, the wrap up for the anime part of Girlfriend. Like I said, we'll cover up how the show is. Definitely got an open ending here. Where there's more stuff. Obviously, we got to see how the time frame ends for Milikai, how Minase gets her first kiss. Does Shinu get in part of the group? And how, still have the Saki still barring with her feelings on the whole situation. So there's a lot of stuff that didn't have the anime is left open ended that we have to get wrapped up in the manga to a degree. I didn't. I will tease on the manga is I did enjoy it. Like I said, there's one thing they do it towards the end that I'm not sure. I get why they did it, but I don't know if I really liked it. And it just kind of has this nice little ending. It's just a soft ending. Unfortunately, wish you could have got more, but I don't think we're ever going to see this revisited. Pretty sure the authors moved way on from this by now. But it's a good, fun, quirky show. It's the final one part of my romantic love month of February, even though it's June. Oops. Really screwed up on. Really dropped the ball on that one, didn't we? So we'll do a manga wrap up. Then I'm going to move on and try and find try and find a shorter way of talking about some shows. To a bunch more I've watched, but there's two I kind of want to kind of cover immediately. We'll tease them right now. It's two shows, both about cosplay. Obviously, one is the big, popular My Dress Up Darling, which I ended up really enjoying as well. So we'll talk about that, as well as the other cosplay, which was slightly different, which also, though, battled it out to me as I was for a while. I'm not sure which one I like. I still don't know if I can answer it yet. Is 2.5 Dimension Seduction. I'm pretty sure that's the name. I think Seduction's the name. But sounds like it's going to go. I went into that show expecting something completely different, and that show actually surprised me a lot with how good it was. And it's getting a season 2 is coming up here soon too. So we're going to talk about those two next, because they both involve the intricacy of being stories built around cosplay. So fun to talk about those two. All right. So, but until then, hey, hope you enjoyed Girlfriend. Sorry it took me forever to finish up this thing, and we still got technically one more episode to go, which will just be the manga wrap up. Which, if you want to go read the manga, the anime leaves off at chapter 90. So if so go read the manga if you want to see how it ended yourself. Pretty much adapted mostly of everything except for a couple things that it dealt with Nayu's parents. Kind of avoided a lot of the parental stuff. But so check out the channel for that later, or watch out for the next two animes that I'm going to start working on. Hopefully here soon. I'll try and push myself. Sorry. Till next time. Cachorro out.